Hey everybody, I'm Jordan with PDQ.com. Today we're doing PDQ&A. Don't worry, smart people are here, they're just off camera. We got Katie and Colby to help me answer all the things that I'll get wrong. With that, I guess you want to just dive right in? Let's start with the first question.
Dear Jordan, Colby, and Katie, I'm using the PowerShell scanner. When using install and import module.ps1, how do I make the install package provider NuGet Force command work on workstations? They use a proxy and can't download it on PS Gallery. Sincerely, Wagner A.
All right, is it Wagner or Wagner?
Wagner.
Wagner, okay. All right, well, this one came in a couple days ago. I took my shot at it. I'm going to give you what I came up with, and then Colby will probably tell me why I've overthought it and made it more complicated than it needs to be. So basically, where you can't reach your own repository, my idea was make your own repository, and you can put it on a file share. So what we have here is just the different parameters. Oh, I don't have the highlighter turned on. Turn that again. Aha! Those parameters. It worked. All right, where we're just naming the source where you want to publish, and I set the installation policy to trusted. Once you have that, then you just want to, I'm going to run that. We're going to do all this live, apparently, because that never goes bad. We're just going to run the register PS repository with those parameters. All right, and so this, if you do this on a machine that already has the module you're looking for, so I say Jira PS because for some reason you want the remote computer to close a ticket. It's what's on my computer, so it's what I use for the example. You just want to run basically not that. Publish. Publish module. There we go. I am typing great today. Am I missing the M?
You're channeling Lex.
There we go. That's what I get for making fun of him. And then just the name, and then just use the Jira PS if that one's there, and then the repository, in this case, test. And that will put the NuGet files, which is basically just a zipped folder, out in that location for you. So if on the remote machines, if you go and you register this repository, when you go to import the module, it should find the one you're looking for. In this case, we'll try it again. Install module.
There's not a Q in install. Oh, there you go.
Okay. I got there. We're going to say Jira PS, and then the repository we're going to specify test.
GRAPS.
And we'll see if this works. All right, and there you go. And so that one, I'm not using anything remote on that one. I'm just basically saying, here's the repository locally with the file share. You can point to it, that one. You may have to modify the script that Colby has for installing modules to specify that repository. I haven't really looked into that one. If you do, you're going to have to make that change every time you update from the repository. All right, Colby, did I overthink that?
No, that's a really cool way to do it.
Right.
My suggestion was going to be just copy the module folder to the computers with like deploy.
Oh.
But setting up your own repository is a really cool way to do it.
All right. So I'm not wrong on question one. All right.
Good start for the day. Yeah.
Wow, you were Colby approved.
Colby, that's the first time.
Impressive. Dear Colby, Katie, and Jordan, first time tuning into one of these webcasts, are these more informational updates about the product or focused on a product demo in general? Thanks, Jeffrey H.
Hey, I don't know if Jeff. I'll just go Jeffrey because it's what's on the title. If we have a new product release, we'll usually do one of these where we talk about the product, but mostly it can vary. It can be about things you can do with the product, or like in the case of next week, I don't know if it's static, but we are planning to do it on error handling in PowerShell. So it's just different topics that you can tune into, and it does focus on our product a lot, but it doesn't always have to. We like a lot of PowerShell as well.
And we have a back catalog of every webcast we've ever done on our YouTube channel.
Yep, definitely. There's a lot of fantastic information out there.
Hey everybody, we have a group of PCs in a public lab that need to be always powered on, and users occasionally shut them down after use. Is there a way to configure inventory or deploy to automatically monitor the power online state of these PCs, and if any are powered offline, initiate a wake on LAN command? Sincerely, JM.
So Jam, if you go into inventory and we just open up the preferences, Control comma was the shortcut I used. Down on scanning, there's a checkbox right here, send wake on LAN and time scan. So if you have it set to look for wake on LAN or turn the computer on, that will work for you. As far as on a schedule, you could set any sort of scan that you want to go off at a specific time every hour or whatever, and it doesn't have to do much, but if it sees it offline, it will attempt the wake on LAN for you at that time and turn it on for you. Anything else? Or
If you're looking to like immediately turn the computer back on, once it turns off, we don't really have anything for that. But if you do, if you set up like a schedule or a scan to run fairly frequently, make sure that you get kind of aggressive with your cleanup in the preferences, because if your history gets too large for deployments or scans, it can slow down your database.
also, and it's been too long since I've done this for sure, but if you see it's offline, if you highlight it, hit Control H, it should do a heartbeat scan, which I think will send the wake packet, but I can't.
No, that'll just do a heartbeat.
Well, then never mind. Don't
It
listen to
just
that one. I was doing so
pings
well.
lights.
Doing so well. All right. Next question.
Hello, my name is Phil R. How do I remove an entry in the registry with PDQ? Thanks.
I mean, if you know where the registry key you're looking for is, you can do it with command line or PowerShell. I think PowerShell is remove-item, and then you want to specify that you are looking at the registry, so it'd be item, and then I think it's HKLM / and then from there you can go through and find it there. So if you're looking for a specific, you know where it's at, you can specify it there. If you want to first test that the registry is there, then it's I believe get item or
I think test path works on
oh yeah,
registry.
yeah. So test path to see if it's there. If it is there and you want to remove it, just do if it's found remove item. All right. I would go over the command line, but I'm not good enough off the top of my head.
Reg delete, reg delete.
Okay.
I don't remember. That's off the top of my head. So don't quote me on that.
Use PowerShell.
That. I like that idea better.
All right. Next question.
Hello again. There is no Windows 10 version 2004 cumulative update in PDQ Inventory. Any idea when it will be available? Thanks, Phil R.
In inventory, I would have thought that that was in there.
There totally are. There are collections. I checked this morning.
Yeah, so right there, I just did in the search bar up top for 2004, and it pulled that up there. I did check in deploy. We also have the cumulative update in deploy, so we
Yep.
should have everything up there. That was updated
Yesterday.
on Patch Tuesday. So
Yeah, we updated everything yesterday. About yesterday afternoon, I think.
Okay.
Mid-afternoon.
yeah, depending on how old the OS is, like the older ones, we might push back just to get the more in-use ones. But I think 2004 is
Yeah, 2004 is one of the first ones that we try to roll out.
yeah.
Newer stuff is better, you know.
Yep, and if you click on the collection library in the tree, and then you look at the bottom left corner, that shows you the last time that your inventory console checked in with our servers. So go ahead and check that, and if it's not checking in, you'll want to check your firewall, your web filter, stuff like that.
We've got, in the knowledge base, we've got an article that shows the external exceptions that you'd have to make in your firewall, or just make sure that you are able to connect to all of those.
Okay, yep. Yeah, so hopefully with that you can find what you're looking for and you can get all that updated.
Hey folks, we love using schedules, and we would like to know if an endpoint has already been marked as successful and we make a change, such as update to the application we are installing in the schedule, will those targets rescan and install that update, or do we need to rebuild the schedule? Thanks, Christine R.
So if you're using one of our packages from the package library, when we update that, it will automatically count that and look for it to update. If it's one that you built on your own, by default, that's not going to clear out, but you can clear out the history manually, or we did a webcast, me and Lex did one a while ago, about automating packages that aren't in the library, where we built a little system where you can clear out that history for you once it updates, and it will update your variables, clear out your history, and make it so it'll just run without issue for you.
Yep, and the automatic clearing out is the target history on the schedule.
I guess we should build a schedule so we can show that one, or I guess while I'm bringing that up, do we want to ask another question?
Hey guys, I'd like to write an SQL report to show which software from the package library is actually installed on my inventory machines. So, for example, I can see you have a package for Mozilla Firefox. What I want to know is, do any of my users actually use Mozilla Firefox? 300 character limit for queues is too small. Thanks for that. Sincerely, Paul O.
All right. On SQL, I am terrible. I couldn't even begin. I guess I'll see if Colby has anything off the top of his head where he has an idea for that one, or
Inventory is not able to see the deploy database from SQL reports, so that's not something that you would be able to do natively from within inventory. It's something you could do externally by accessing the databases, but you have to be careful with that. You can run into issues such as locking the database, and we always have concerns about possible database corruption if you're accessing the database at the same time as deploying inventory are. So unfortunately, I don't really think there's going to be a way to do that automatically. You might just have to one thing you could do is just instead look at the collection library, because most of the packages that we have in the package library have a corresponding collection in the collection library, and those will show you which computers have the application installed, which don't have it installed, which has the latest and oldest and all of that. So
I think too, you can check the deployments page. If you double click on a computer and look at the deployments, it'll show you the history, which inventory pulls out of the deploy database, and show you which deployments that machine has received. I mean, it doesn't help with the usage whether the person's actually clicking and opening Firefox or whichever application, but it will show you what your console machine has sent out to the computers.
so where I think you can run SQL queries in PowerShell, if you built a PowerShell scanner that on that machine runs the thing that would tell you when it was last used, or maybe if there's a WMI entry, you could do something that you could tell you the last time it was used.
Yeah, if you can find anything in the registry or WMI, pick that up with a PowerShell scanner, that'd be nifty.
If it exists on that computer, you could do PowerShell scanner or WMI scanner if you know where to look. I don't know off the top of my head on that one, where it could report back when it was last used or how frequently, but I don't know. That's all speculation. That's not a definitive. And for the last question of target history, it's just the last tab here on the schedule is the target history, and there's also options here where you can say stop deploying targets once they succeed. If that's not checked, it will just every time the schedule goes off try to install, if that's something that works better for you as well.
Hey guys, not a question, but a thank you for implementing the SigRed patches in PDQ so quickly. Also, shout out to Jordan for that SigRed patch video and blog post on Tuesday. You guys are worth every bleeping penny. Thanks, Jeff P.
Well, thank you very much. The package getting out there, there's a whole team that does that, and I was so terrible about that, they sent me off to just write about it instead. So they did all the work that you can really use. The blog was fun to write. If you were there on the first day, the next day we had a user on Reddit, Dark Pixel, that created a collection that will tell you if your machines have not been patched for that one or not. There's a link to that now in that blog, so if you were looking for a collection, you can go to his Git repository and download that XML.
Could you go ahead and explain what the SigRed vulnerability was?
Yeah, it's a DNS vulnerability. It uses a larger packet size that knows how to handle, so you can run elevated commands without authenticating, and it's wormable because of that. So once it's on one machine, it can spread wherever it wants. It does just about anything, including can get domain admin, and since your DNS server is probably your domain controller, you're going to lose everything. If,
I mean, domain admin privileges on a domain controller that's also running DHCP and DNS, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. What could go wrong?
Yeah, it's ranked as a 10 out of 10 on the CVSS, which I've looked up what that acronym stands for, and I can never remember.
How
Vulnerability something.
how often does a 10 out of 10 happen?
I don't recall seeing one. I don't even think WannaCry was considered.
I
10 out of 10.
WannaCry had some, you had some specific things, and not to say that there aren't specific things, but it's pretty bad.
I don't know when the last one was, but I can't recall hearing of one since I've been writing about this stuff. So it's a rare one. It is bad. Make sure you patch.
That's impressive. Yeah, sounds like a big deal.
Dear Jordan, Colby, and Katie, what's the easiest way to deploy programs that have a lot of setup options but only have an EXE? I have a couple of programs that currently only work if I deploy them interactively, then walk through the setup on the endpoint myself once the installation starts. I'm hoping to automate that process. Sincerely, Monica H.
Oh, did you find the one application that doesn't have any silent install parameters to configure those things? Darn.
So
AutoHotkey?
I've done I've done something like this back when I was doing QA on the product. Basically, we couldn't just do the silent install of our product because we'd have to do different configurations and everything with our server. So what we did is there's a module called UI automation where you can specify where it's clicking and everything. But for that to work, it has to run as the logged on user, and so someone's going to have to see that happening and not touch anything while the machine is going through all the steps.
Does that require that a user be logged in?
Yes, the user has to be logged in because it runs as logged on user. I mean, it worked fine in a lab environment. I can't see that working in production.
It sounds like it would be a picky little thing
Yeah,
that needs a lot of love and care and attention.
It took a lot of finesse without the user variable where I knew I had logged into the system. So I can't think of an easy way. It's possible, but I can't think of a way to do it without having, like JJ said, AutoHotkey or UI automation where it's clicking for you.
I would go AutoHotkey. I think, doesn't Steven have isn't there a webcast or a blog or a something that
I believe
features
there's
Steven and
both.
AutoHotkey?
There's definitely a webcast. I remember doing that one.
That's what I was remembering
I
too.
don't remember if Stephen had written a blog post on it.
I'm going to go off to the Google machine.
I think either way, we should probably not reevaluate,
Revisit?
Update it.
revisit.
Revisit,
There you go.
yeah.
That's the word.
It's a
Yeah,
good thing to revisit. Love getting new ideas in the middle of stuff.
Yeah, so we'll look into it, and if it's something we can do, it's probably going to become a blog and or webcast in the near future.
Someone take a note. Hey folks, what is the development state of the new tool? Sincerely, Marcel L.
Is he referring to Link or the...
That's what I would assume.
Okay.
Same here.
Yeah. So Link is the project we have that will basically allow PDQ to hit your remote machines. It's not an agent, but it works really well for your remote users. I think it got delayed for a little bit recently. I think Colby's going to know, I guess, closer update than I am.
I'm not super updated on it. As far as I know, it's still coming soon.
Soon? TM? Yeah. We would absolutely want to get that out as soon as possible. We just want to make sure that it is completely solid before we send it out there. So hopefully soon. I don't think it's going to be a crazy amount of time.
I think we're in like a really, really, really closed, small, selective beta testing.
Yeah.
We're working on standing that up. Don't you have a way to collect people who are interested, Kelly?
Yeah, we actually are in the process of having some of our customers test it fairly thoroughly. I mean, it's one of those things where we're actually on a Zoom call with them and watching how they install it and how they interact with it. After we get done with that, there's going to be a fairly short beta test period. And so if you're signed up for beta test notifications, you may be seeing that in your email box sometime in the next few weeks.
So, next question.
There we go. Hey folks, is it on the horizon to add the ability to adjust the order and priority of schedules in deploy? Thanks, Tyson F.
Yeah, so as far as the schedules go, it's just whichever one kicks off first. If it's something you have a lot of deployments going on At the same time, you can click on the one that is deploying and make that one a priority. I guess I should have a do nothing package that I can test that with. I don't want to install the weather or the calculator.
We deleted dir.
All right, I guess we'll make a new one.
We're going to do another dir.
Do a dir.
Do a dir 2.0.
This is the first thing they
If you
teach
don't call
at
it that.
PDQ camp. And I'm not going to name it.
I'm going to call it do a dir 2.0.
Okay, all right.
Oh, you disappoint me. Okay, now you made me happy.
All right, so this is a super critical package. I probably should add a sleep step if I'm going to showcase making one a priority.
Go ahead and throw one in.
All right. Yeah, this is why doing it live doesn't always work the way you would like. We're going to move that up. It's going to sleep before it durs. Give it 30 seconds. All right, and then let's check our deployment settings to make sure I can overshoot that number. Oh, I should know this one live. What is going to be a deployer at deployments?
We've also got some clarification from Tyson in the chat.
Okay.
He says that's prioritizing running deployments. I would like to reorder schedules to automate the priority of the deployments when they kick off.
Oh.
You can do that by time.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think of is
Set it by the 1 minute offset or
1 minute earlier for the
5
ones
minute
that are-
offset. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as a built-in system to say this schedule takes priority, I can't think of anything. But I suppose it'd be hard to do a time if it is based on like it's a heartbeat schedule. But
That's a good point.
yeah, if it's not a heartbeat and you can set a specific time, just whichever one you need first, have that go first on the list, I guess. I can't think of anything built in that can handle that by a click of a button.
Yeah, and I'm not aware of any upcoming features that would do that. So if you could submit a ticket to support@pdq.com and give us as much detail about your intended use case for that feature as possible, that would help us a lot in designing something like that for the future.
Yeah, and I think I saw in the chat if it was also referencing multiple packages within the schedule, I think that'll go, you can reorder the order they're in the schedule.
Yep, I believe that goes top to bottom.
Yep.
This one's calling out Jordan. Jordan, any progress on the Force Collection memberships update script? Thanks, Marcel L.
I did bring that up in the chat too. I have thought about it a lot. The time I'd set aside to really dive into it was instead spent on writing about SigRed. But it is on my queue of things to do. I will shoot for having that a link where you can get that by next webcast. If I can do it. Like I said, this is all theoretical that I can do it, so I will attempt to do it, and if I can, we'll know by Thursday. Next Thursday.
Hey guys, I have an auto approval for MS Net Framwork 4.8 with no latest version or approval countdown. It showed up back when there was some issues with the library. Approving does nothing. How can I remove? Thanks, Dominic C.
Well, that sounds neat.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd try deleting the package and re-downloading if you want to have it back.
Yeah. That's the first thing
That's
I
my
think of
knee-jerk
is-
reaction.
Yeah, is what Kay said, delete, re-add, and if you've done that and it doesn't work, then that is a heck of a bug, and we would love to hear about it. If you want to send to support, we could definitely dive in and take a look at.
Yeah, I mean, really specific things like that are totally like,
Yeah.
you should hit support up and see what we can do for you.
Yeah, I can't think of anything past if the delete, re-add doesn't work, then yeah, we'll take a look at that. All right. Do we have any other questions?
Hey guys, are you still working on an agent for inventory? We have serious issues with computers that change IPs, especially ones that are on and off the VPN. They are not updating an inventory, or if they do, are giving an incorrect IP logged in user for that device. Thanks, James S.
So I don't believe agent specifically, the PDQ link that we talked about earlier, I think will meet a lot of those needs, but I don't think there's a plan currently for...
I mean, it'll help. It's still like VPN related, but
Yeah.
that sounds like something that maybe
Is that a DNS issue?
It could be. I mean,
If you're changing IPs, DHCP maybe?
yeah, there might be some work that can be done.
Yeah, we had I can't remember what webcast was on, but we talked about writing a script where it would basically scavenge the DNS more aggressively if you're having those problems with DNS that might take care of the name issue. I can't even remember the name of the webcast though. I don't know if anyone else.
I can't either. Off to the Google machine again for me.
Colby's got his work set up for him.
Yeah,
Colby's
we
faster.
couldn't do that live. That was one where
I'm just watching him in front of me, just frantically. I'm getting it.
So even if I can't remember the webcast, in the bonus content PDQ Git repository, the script that we wrote for that is there.
There's 2 blog posts that Colby got.
Here we go.
Sweet.
Kobe's always got everything. So
And then the old standby. If you are seeing issues and you think that you do have a problem with deploying inventory, hit us up at support at
Yeah.
pdq.com. And
yeah, if it is a scavenging issue, our Git repository will have something that will help you clear that out more aggressively. But I mean, read through it. Make sure it's something you want, but before you run anything like that.
Dear Jordan, Colby, and Katie, were you two hit by the yesterday's Outlook bug? Thanks, Marcel.
not so far, but I also don't think that I've updated anybody's machines that are running Outlook. Or if I have, they haven't noticed it.
It's not a very popular application around here, is it?
Yeah, so since I've come over to PDQ, the biggest adjustment was when there is an outage of any type, I no longer need to run over and try to help. In fact, I'm generally not welcome. We have people that do that. So normally when I find about stuff like this is if it's hey, this looks like a big issue, you should write about it. Then I'll start reading on it. And I haven't got anything on that one yet. So I was unfamiliar until just now that there was an Outlook issue.
I haven't either. I'm those people, so.
And
I haven't heard about it.
this is
But we have a very small Outlook.
This is
user
absolutely
base.
a preference thing for me. I do not like Exchange 365. You don't get access to your hub transport roles. You lose all configuration if you have your own built-in Exchange system. If you're just looking for out of the box, it's fine. But if you need customization, you lose so much access. And that's a personal thing from my last job. But I've heard from people that it's great.
Hey folks, is there a plan to have inventory scan and pull DHCP info directly from the DHCP server? Thanks, Guy J.
I don't know of any sort of plan to do that. I mean, it might be something you could do with the PowerShell scanner. If you just wanted to query it that way with PowerShell, you could return the results you're looking for per machine, but I don't know how intensive or how well that will work. It's just something that off the top of my head may work. I don't know if you guys have any better idea.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, the DHCP server is supposed to communicate with the DNS server, so I'm not sure what benefit directly talking to the DHCP server would have. Sorry.
Right, yeah, so yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we have any plans on that one off the top of my head. If it's something that you think that would work, I mean, we can take a look at the PowerShell scanner, but I don't know off the top of my head that we're going to get better value than we just get from the scan already.
And our final question today. Hi all, what is your favorite COVID quarantine activity to keep yourselves from going totally stir crazy? Stay safe. Thanks, Ray C.
Well, this works for me really well. I just came out of quarantine less than a week ago, so I had a lot of time to test it out.
Legitimate.
Yeah, so for me, it's that you find humor in weird things. I like to watch my daughter play Final Fantasy because she does things like worries about the shop owner being out of potions, and so she will sell the potions back and then buy if she gets too many, and she wastes all the money in it. Non-stop enjoyment for me. So just little things like that is you have to find to keep entertained.
So don't give her an eBay account, is what you're saying.
No, in fact, yeah, there's nothing that she has where she can just spend money.
She doesn't understand the principles of capitalism yet.
Yeah, where I am very strict with how I use my finances.
Right.
Watching it hurts a little, but you can find the amusement when it's just in video game.
Like, oh, you just spent all your money trying to buy and sell digital goods.
Yeah, she oversaved one of my files that went in there, and I was using, I don't know if anyone played 10, but you have to pay a guy to do an attack, and I didn't have any money. It cost me the game to load.
Katie, Colby?
Real quick, before, I know I said last question, but Ray C. has a follow-up after your answers, Colby and Katie.
Oh, what was my answer? I've been reading. I mean, huge shameless plug for your local library, but check because they probably have an ebook program, so you can get books on your phone or your tablet or your Kindle or your whatever thing that you can look at words on for free from the comfort of your living room in the middle of the night. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah,
Reading.
I do have the Kindle thing where I can have 10 checked out books
Oh yeah.
at a time. All right. And Colby, what about you? What's your quarantine? Apparently he moves.
I move?
No.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty boring. I mostly just work and like watch YouTube, play video games occasionally.
Absolutely nothing has changed.
That is the dream.
But that is the
Yeah.
dream.
That is the dream.
Question, or what do I do?
I popped the question up, but
Okay.
maybe we can leave that up and you can say what you do after.
We'll chat after. Hey guys, is there any way to put conditions on the default scan profile? I have some WMI scanners that fail on machines and throw unless they have a specific application installed. DELL Command, Monitor. I'd like machines that don't have that installed to not try doing that part of the scan. Thanks, Ray C.
That's going to be, it's WMI scanner. I went straight into PowerShell. Try catch block. But for WMI, I'm not familiar enough to have a good answer. If it's a PowerShell scanner, something with PowerShell related, you can just put a try first, and if it is there, it will move on. If not, it will catch the error, and you can move on.
What I would recommend is splitting those WMI scanners out into their own scan profiles, and then creating collections that look for that application, and then targeting those scan profiles at those collections. Because we have I believe the tab is called Collections on the scan profile, and that will make it so that when the scan profile is automatically triggered, it will only run against computers in that collection. However, it does not affect which computers will get it if you run the scan profile manually.
Kelly, what's your
What do I
quarantine
do in
activity?
quarantine? We live in a cul-de-sac, and so we made a pickleball court in our cul-de-sac, and so my wife and I go out there and play in the evenings when it's not quite so hot. So yeah, little bit of exercise.
Nobody can drive their cars anymore, but you got
They can-
pickleball.
it's funny. They can actually go around us, and we've played in the middle of the day, like on the weekends. And the UPS guy and the Amazon guy, they know to drive around the edges now.
They
'cause
start riding up on the sidewalk.
Yeah, they've seen us out there enough, so it's been fun.
All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we got a lot of questions answered for you. I think we got to all of them, so this time we can't use our normal... we can try to answer those in the future. I guess next week, tune in. We're going to talk about doing some error handling. For PDQ.com, I'm Jordan.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Ray C. and Phil R., winners of PDQ Mystery Swag. Please send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. Thanks again for joining us. Stay safe, and we'll see you back here next week.